well-known sector, but nothing has happened very nice, yes. So imagine, in the Aisne Valley River, on a front line of 30 kilometers, came more than 1 million of Frenchmen, 5,000 artillery field guns, tons and tons of shells and so on. In 1 week, French artillery dropped on the German position more than 6 million of shells. Okay? But it was not so easy. Okay? Because during the preparation of the offensive, weather conditions were awful. Observers, French observers in aircraft, were unable to take in picture from the sky German positions. Today we know, when the Frenchmen went over the top, French High Command knew just 53 German artillery positions, but the German military had 392. Problem number 2 for the Frenchmen, the sky. It was a German sky. German air arm at here, German air aces, like Rudolf Berthold. He was a pour le mérite pilot. He had about 40 planes and so on. So the sky was the German sky. And the French observing aircraft were shut down. Third problem for the French military. In the night of the 4th and the 5th of April, nearby Berry-au-Bac village, German troops took prisoner a French officer. On him they found a map and the orders of the offensive.
Bless you.
German soldiers had a special device called apparatus Moritz. They were used to listen French telephone conversation at more than 1 kilometer. So no surprise possible. But if you were a French soldier here on the 16th of April 1917 at 6 a.m. on the morning, you were in the valley. In front of you is a wheat field, and you have small brushes in the middle. French trench number 1 was here. From that spot to here, 1,200 meters. The French orders were very simple. You had to take 100 meters per 3 minutes to take, in 2 days of fighting, the town of Flan. But here the town of Flan is 23 kilometers north, taken by the French military just on the 13th of October 1918. The guys in front of you came from northern France. Of course, their family was under German occupation. They were put in front because they had motivation to liberate their families. Yes, in that spot, no black troops, no white men here. Okay, in that sector, one of the worst. Anyway, so on the 16th of April 1917, if you were a French soldier in the valley, some of them had fought at Verdun in 1916, on the Somme 1916. Some were just green boys. It was their first assault, and the old hands didn't want to have any connection with that guys. They knew that guys are going to be killed in the first action. But they used to know their names. Others, old hands, were very keen guys. They said to the young boys, when I'm going to go over the top, you are going to follow me. Didn't ask you questions, just follow me. It was raining for about 6 days. It has been raining. Okay, so it was full of mud, but orders were orders. So imagine you were in a trench, the sound of the shelling was so loud, so strong, you were unable to speak with your comrade between you. Okay, you were thinking about your wife, your family, and others. Sometimes came also a sergeant. He had a big bag. You put inside 1 dog tag or your watch, your ring, things like this. Because after the attack, the same bag, you could have your private possession, and you knew how many of your comrades had been killed. So they went over the top with officially just 1 dog tag around the neck or around the wrist. Okay, it was raining and the ground was shaking because the shell exploding here sent to the valley the shaking of the ground. And well, among them was an officer, of course. He has the duty to give the order to go over the top. Imagine you were an officer, you knew that at 6 o'clock you had to give the order, and this officer was so afraid as the others. The only way to show that he was not afraid was to have a cigarette between his lips. Nobody was able to see that his lips were shaking. Yes, things like this. The young guys knew you had to go over the top with empty stomach. No doctor will help you if he knew that your stomach was full. So sometimes you had to manage to have an empty stomach before going over the top, like this. Your rifle was 4 kilos. You have 25 kilos kit bag on your. You have 2 water bottles, 2 gas masks, about 250 rounds of ammunition and so on. You have 1 spade and some hold hands. Put the handle of the spade between the buckle and the trouser like this. They were so afraid of stomach wounds. Maybe a spade could stop a bullet.
Yes.
So the officer was just looking at his watch like this, and at the moment it was 6 o'clock. The only way to give an order for him was to... And when you listen that, you had to go over the top. If you refuse to go over the top, the officer had the right to gun you down. Remember, you were Frenchmen. Your duty was to liberate your country. So they went over the top. In front of you, 1,200 men, 2 battalions of the 201e Régiment d'Infanterie. They didn't run. No, it was muddy and so on. So they just advanced very slowly, marching, and they were not very lucky. A German observing aircraft went very low above them. The pilot was here, the observer saw that the Frenchmen were going over the top. And the observer fired in the sky red rockets, and the German observers here knew that the French were coming. And these observers gave the order to the guys in the shelters inside to go over the top. Imagine you were a German soldier here. For about 1 week, you had been shelled. Some of the Germans were completely mad. Some had just water for about 7 days. And they said, we are going to take our revenge. They went out of their shelters. They settled their machine guns. They didn't open fire. No, not yet. Observers went out, and an officer with a notepad gave orders to the German artillery to open fire. And the German shells just passed over and exploded. And when the first German shell exploded, the French guys start to run. And at that moment, German machine gunners opened fire. Remember the rate of fire of a German machine gun? At least 400 rounds per minute. The speed of the bullets, 840 meters per second. Almost 3 times the speed of the sound. You hear the shot, you had already many comrades killed by it. And the first wave of the French military was stopped in the valley. But if you belong to the second wave of attack, you had to go over the top. And today, we are able to pass on to you this information. The guys, before going over the top, in spite of the sound of the war and so on, they were listening the earth-rending cries of the guys who were dying in front of them. And in spite of that, they were given the order to go over the top. Among them was Captain Georges Batté, a French officer. He saw that everything was a mess. He gave the order to his boys to take shelter in shell holes. He had the bravery to take his binoculars and watch the German positions. He saw nearby the today Napoleon's emplacement, a German trench going towards the valley without any German soldiers. He gave the order to his boys to run that way. They reached that cliff. They removed all the stuff they didn't need. They took their rifle, their hand grenades, and they succeeded to reach the today Napoleon's emplacement. When they arrived here, it was 7 p.m. The attack had been launched at 6 a.m. In the night of the 16th and 17th of April, on that side, Captain Georges Batté was killed like this, poof, by a sniper. His comrade took his body and sent it back to the valley. And one day, very far from here, a mother, a father, they were able to bury their son. He was born in Lille, northern France. So, mort pour la France. He was just 23 years old, but the story is not over. Remember, wounded men. Some had to wait 3 days, 3 nights before having some help, because in the unit there were just 42 stretcher bearers. 22 of them had been killed. Imagine, you are in a shell hole, you are losing the blood, and in the evening of 16th of April 1917 here, it was snowing. So you could ask for God and others. Nobody came. You died here, alone. It is the truth. And remember that, 16th of April 1917 is one of the blackest days ever in the French history and in the European history. Because still today here, we are asking the question, why? We were sent to take that German position.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
For what? That spot where I am was taken by Frenchmen of the 34e Régiment d'Infanterie de Mont-de-Marsan, southwest of France, just on the 5th of May 1917. And when you arrive here on the 5th of May 1917, no trees in front of you, just shell holes. On your right, there were boys of the 18e Régiment d'Infanterie de Pau, south of France, 49 regiments of Bayonne, just on your left side. The orders to take the plateau. No trees. And the big problem in front of you, they were German soldiers. They didn't want to give you that plateau. You know why? Because German soldiers didn't want to see any war in their country. They knew what means war. War means villages destroyed, women without men, kids without a father. At any moment, the army of occupation could enter a house. German soldiers didn't want to see that. In 1918, no war in Germany. No war in Germany. You have to come here to understand that. You have to come here. And you can understand why, during World War II, the Allies destroyed everything in Germany to give to the German people an idea of what means war. But the story started here. And it is why today we have to build Europe.
Yes.
So that spot was taken on the 5th of May. You have to take the plateau. I'm going to show you the other side. We are going to walk slowly, but at that time, for every meter, you had to fight. You had to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comrades of yours to take 1 meter and so on. And in front of you, Germans were dying to stop you. So, any questions? We are going on the other side. Please follow the froggy guide.
There's no connection. Oh yeah, got it back.
Just walk around with it really high. It should be fine.
There are two people looking at us. Well, famous.
We're famous. 2 people watching it. We have nothing bad.
No,
Probably
one.
prisoners. Inmates.
Oh.
I think it's snakes, sorry.
Oh.
Stay on the path, sweetie.
If I fall, the person looking at us would laugh.
You probably have like 1,000 likes then.
Bananweg is the symbol in the rock culture of Doni. Kein Sieg im Krieg.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, him too, but what was that?
Ouais, tu fais un cours d'histoire en anglais,
Ouais.
alors, c'est pas mal. Ah, t'as vu un peu hein, la chance que t'as.
So, as you are coming from far foreign countries, I'm going to show you trenches from the Great War. It was just 100 years ago. We are very old Europeans.
Yeah.
And this ribbon use metro detectors.
Really?
Live ammunition. Still.
So once again, at that time, no trees here, just shell holes. Okay? Here is an original trench of the Great War. In fact, it was the first line of the German troops, German trench number 4 was here. Okay? And that spot is like this today, not very deep. Remember, that trench was created by the Germans in July 1915. At that time it was maybe 2 meters deep, but when the French shell arrived from that side, exploding here, it sent to the sky part of soil. So quickly these 2 meters deep trenches became just 90 centimeters deep trench. We have photos showing Frenchmen or German soldiers fighting in such kind of trenches. Okay, so that spot was taken by the Frenchmen just on the 22nd of July 1917. And when you arrived here, you were a survivor. How many comrades you had lost before? The guys who arrived here had yellow faces. Why? When shell exploding, picric acid was flying everywhere. Yellow, yellow chemical products. They were thirsty. Officially, there are 2 water bottles. You arrive here, okay? It is a plateau. No water. You wanted to have some water here? 3 ways. Number 1, you have to check the dead bodies around you. Maybe a dead body of a German or French guy had still a full water bottle. Second way, there were some German shelters here. You had to go inside, sometimes 14 meters deep, going in the darkness, and you have on you sometimes torches looking like this. Oh, German water bottle. You took it and boom! Remember, booby traps. Sometimes the last step of the German dugout was just a wounded one, and there you had a shell. Yes. Of course, Germans knew Frenchmen were souvenir kings hunters. So, the rule was don't touch anything in enemy position. Still today, you know that. The third way to find water here, if your corporal, your sergeant was still alive, or your lieutenant gave you the order to go down in the valley.
Oh no.
So you had to take maybe 25 water bottles of your comrades. Fatigue duty. Okay, running like this, in the valley, your big problem, water points in the valley were under German artillery fire. Germans knew by heart the battlefield. They had been here for about 2.5 years.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
by night, by daylight, these water points were sometimes more dangerous than to stay here. And when you have arrived here, your big problem, there were no trees. In front of you, you guess another high ground position. German artillery was here. And from that spot, a German artillery observer was able to drop a shell here, a shell here, a shell here. You had to stay. You had taken the position. You had to stay. Orders were to stay. Okay? So sometimes you were buried alive. Sometimes one of your comrades vanished and you were full of his blood.
Oh.
Okay? One was shaking. Okay? And sometimes the shell exploding here. They were your shells. And, well, the only way to give the order to French artillery to stop fire, they dropped 2 shots. Okay, to take the telephone because you had officially put a wire cable and so on. Most of the time the telephone cables were destroyed by shell splinters. So the only way to give order to stop fire, if the officer was still alive, he took his notepad, he wrote something on a sheet, he gave it to you. You had the order to return in the valley to give the order to the French artillery officer to stop fire. And if you were still alive to arrive inside a shell, an artillery position, showing the sheet to the officer, he said, "Shit! We are killing our own men!" Sorry, I'm swearing. I'm saying merde. Sorry, we are barbarians. So, and he gave the order to his guns to stop fire. He took his notepad, he wrote something, he gave you the sheet. You had the order to return here to prove that you had done your duty. And when you return here, sometimes your comrades were killed. You had risked your life for nothing. But the orders were orders. Okay? So you were here, exhausted most of the time. You had to hold the position. You were Frenchmen, okay? And during the night, the others were used to attack you. And sometimes you listen kind of whistle. Germans were using a flamethrower to attack you. You have 2 ways. The first one was to kill the guy who tried to burn you alive. Second way, to run. If you run that way, after the attack, you could be shot down.
Yeah.
Remember, the others were to die for that stuff. So, it was a position here. If you were hit here, a bullet in your leg, first aid post number 1, nearby the coach of today's bus. Today. Remember, it took less than 6 hours to wound to become infected. Penicillin didn't exist. And if you were lucky, you were evacuated to the valley. And if you were lucky, you were put in an ambulance and sent to the hospital. But you could die in Paris from a wound from here. So, at the moment here, by night, came guys, they were exhausted, fed up of that business. They said, "We are here to relieve you." Okay, take the position, and you return. And your only way, your only will was to leave that hell. That position was finally, Chemin was finally left by the Germans on the 2nd of November 1917, because the Frenchmen had taken Malmaison Fort on the 23rd of October 1917. But here, in mid-May 1918, came British soldiers. 4 British divisions came on the Chemin des Dames. They were exhausted British men. They had sustained heavy casualties in Armentières and Amiens, March, April 1918. They were boys, they have never seen one German soldier of their life. They were given a quiet sector here, till Berriobac, Juvincourt, and so on. Okay. On the 27th of May 1918, after a crazy bombardment, 17 German crack troops division. It's very simple. In 2 days of fighting, these 4 British divisions were wiped out, and they went south toward Fismes, and so on. It is a story. But remember, the guys of the 2nd Battalion of the Devonshire Regiment fought till the end at La Ville-aux-Bois-les-Pont-Aver village. 1 day of fighting means officially, in 1 day, 600 men killed or listed as missing in action. After the signing of the armistice, it was the first British unit in history to be awarded the French Croix de Guerre. Nobody is telling you that here British men died for France. That spot was retaken by Frenchmen just 12th of October 1918. 1 month before the signing of the armistice. But it was the objective of the 16th of April 1917. You have to come here to understand what was asked to the Frenchmen during the Great War. Just see. So that spot is today superb. It is called by the Frenchman Californie Plateau. I'm going to apologize. No Americans here during the Great War. Sorry for that. Why such name? Before the outbreak of the war, nearby the plateau was a farm. The owner was used to sell his champagne in the USA. And when he returned, he had in his luggage seeds of American trees. He planted them around his farm. He gave to his farm La Ferme de Californie, and the farm gave to the name of the plateau. No American citizen here officially. Officially. Because in the sky, in 1917, your boys of the Lafayette Escadrille were fighting for France. They were above. And before that, it is on another topic of our tour, the guys of the Légion étrangère came to fight here. And many American citizens living in Paris had enlisted in the French Légion étrangère to fight for France. Okay, so we are going to return to the coach. Once again, I have just tried to explain to you. My words are very weak. It's just zero. I was not here. It was worse. Because the survivors were unable to describe to their family their war experience. Like today, the guys who are coming from Afghanistan or those of Vietnam, Indochina, and so on. War doesn't change. Any questions? You are very shy.
What happened to Mangin's career after he ordered the assault?
Mangin, General Mangin was a colonel officer. You are right, sir. He said that it was better to use the black blood than white blood. And we know that in the 16th of April 1917, 10,000 Indian soldiers went to the top. About 6,000 of them never returned. But once again, the objective was to take the enemy position. You were white, you were black, you were another color of skin, you were given to order to take the enemy position. Okay.
Did Mangin lose his command?
He was sacked, like General Nivelle. This is the next topic. So I will tell you the story. Thanks for your question, sir. Allez, let's go.
Sorry. My mom is looking.
Hi, Mom.
Allez-y et puis
Ouais. Oh, it's back.
Yeah.
I had 80.
Good.
Oh, is the guy gonna say something else?
Probably at some point,
Okay.
but
Gilbert, in the bus or in the coach, I will stop it. So
okay.
Here it was beautiful, so I filmed.
Hard to imagine the battles
Yeah.
here. And the live artillery
Yeah.
still here.
It's
Don't go off the tap.
he's gonna speak.
Yeah.
Women are going to get their children at school. People are going to the supermarket. It is more business. It is not Paris, but it is another life now.
Ils ont quitté le 2 novembre 17, ils avaient perdu le fort de la Malmaison. Et les Allemands reprennent le chemin des dames le 27 mai 18. Ici, c'est libéré que le 12 octobre 18. Il y a 4 ans de guerre au chemin des dames. 4 ans moins 2 mois. C'est ça? So very quick topic here is what remains of French original monuments. It was called They Didn't Choose Their Tomb. All the men who came to fight here would have preferred to stay at home or to survive. But it was a very special monument for us. Today nearby the today Museum of Caverne du Dragon. This monument was attacked 3 times by people who didn't understand well the meaning. They believe that this monument was for the guys who one day said no. And it is my topic for the next stop. So back to the coach, please.